John Baker. I'm running in House District 96. Which think of little highway, basically goes from the food store up into the Miller Creeks heading southwest. I have a quote for you guys. It comes from Ronald Reagan. It says, we need your youth, your strength, and your idealism to help us make right what is wrong. I think that quote plays well into my philosophy that the question is addressing. When it comes to government support for the aging services and the disability, my belief and philosophy is that you were made a promise. That if you went out and you worked in the workforce for 40 years, when it came retirement age, the government would help take care of your medical and would help you live a long and prosperous life and enjoy it. I don't think that arbitrarily cutting stuff from medical, that the questions are going to address further, just across the board, is a good thing. We need to address how these benefit and help people. Though I may be young and youthful, aging is something that I have had to deal with personally and in my family. When I was 18, I went in for my surgeries for the first time on my feet and had to have onions cut and taken out and bones replaced, and it laid me up for 8 months. I lived on a couch. So I understand what it's like to have your ability to be free taken away, and how a lot of people rely on others to help them. They should be allowed to choose the care provider that they have in their home. That means a lot to me. I also know that a lot of the other services, the grandfather programs. My mother is a foster daughter. After my grandma had a stroke and was unable to recover, was put in the home and passed away, my family has spent a lot of time getting involved in the aging services. So I just ask that you guys, listen to us and give me your vote and support on election time. Thank you.
What is right, Mike?
Test. Test. Bring it down. Test. Down a little bit more. Yeah. Test. Test.
Can you hear this? Test. I can lead into this if I need to. So. Thank you. Thank you for coming this afternoon. It's a beautiful day out, and I appreciate everybody coming to listen to us talk about these issues. My name is Kimberly Dudek. I'm from Montana. I was born at Community Hospital, and I've chosen to live here with my husband and my 2 small children to grow up in the same communities that I grew up in. My background is as a registered nurse. I graduated from Montana State University, go Cats. And then I went to law school at the University of Montana School of Law, go Barrett. And so I'm a registered nurse. I worked at both hospitals here. I've worked with the elderly. I started out as a candy striper, actually, when I was in high school at St. Pat's. I then worked with home health as a healthcare assistant, certified nurse's aide. Eventually, I became a registered nurse. I specialized in neonatal intensive care, working with small and premature infants. I then went on to law school, again, go Grizz. And I worked for a majority of my career making our community safer. I've worked as a deputy county attorney, enforcing our laws and protecting children in abusive home situations. I've worked for about 3 years until June as an assistant attorney general, protecting children in abusive home situations. I've devoted my professional career to making our community safer and making Montana a better place. I also have, thanks, I like the music, but I also have a master's in public health that I pursued while I was an attorney because I wanted to be able to combine my medical degree and my legal degree to make our communities better and make policies that make Montana a better place. I fully support services to all Montanans. I believe that all people need to be treated with dignity and that our government has a duty to make sure that happens. We need to value people in Montana. We value people with disabilities. We value the elderly. I'm being cut off, but in Montana, we take care of our own, and that's what I'll do in the government. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Barrett. I represent House District 93, which is in southeast Missoula, but I'm running for Senate District 47, which is also southeast Missoula. So, I've served for the last 2 sessions in the House, and I'm 70 years old. I retired from the University of Montana in 2007, so unlike Dave Andrews, I've already ruined my retirement by serving in the legislature. I think that the question concerns my personal philosophy with respect to government funding for supports and services. Let me just say that I think more of that will emerge as we go forward, but my basic philosophy is that caring for the elderly or the disabled or the hungry or anyone in need is one of the basic responsibilities of government. That's sort of the starting point for thinking about this. More specifically, when it comes to the issues that the elderly and disabled communities face with respect to reimbursement rates and programs and so forth, I feel we have a strong responsibility to, as the government, we have a strong responsibility to paying people adequately to provide the care that they provide. And we have a strong responsibility not only to come up with the money, but to assure the quality of the programs that we're providing to people. So those are my basic commitments. I have not been on the appropriations or the human services side of the operation, and I am the horrible thing. I am the tax man. I'm on the tax committees. But I think that their critical role of the tax committees, and I'll have more to say about this later on, is in making sure that the revenue is there to finance the programs that we want to finance.
Hi, my name is Niles Brush. I'm running for Senate District 50. I'm a retired military vet with 8 years in service and tours in Kosovo, Iraq, Kuwait, and Qatar. During that time, I was injured in Iraq in 2003 and went through about 4 years of physical therapy, numerous surgeries, and still walk with a cane. Still got some issues with my right leg, and had my own experience with government health care in the Army. And one of the operations I had was they put my left foot back together and put a couple screws in there. Well, as time went on, the screws started working their way out. And when I went to my doctor, he said I had to get approval from my chain of command because it was considered an elective surgery. Now, those screws were about 1 inch out of my bone, and I pushed them through the skin. And I had told my chain of command, hey, listen, if you don't authorize this, I can get some power tools and take them out myself. They hurt that bad. Now, one of the problems with the Affordable Health Care Act is that it is going to restrict services. It had already reduced Medicare reimbursement rates by 20%. There's more taxes coming down in 2013 and 2014 on medical equipment and medications, vaccines, anything imaginable, which is going to drive our healthcare costs up. And that's going to be a concern for us in 2013 and 2015 legislative sessions here in Montana to make sure that our seniors and our disabled aren't penalized by the Affordable Health Care Act's provisions. Another one of the Affordable Health Care Act's provisions is to reward the reward the bottom 10 spenders. So the hospitals that spend least per patient, those bottom 10% will get incentives and higher reimbursement rates. The hospitals that spend the most per patient, those top 10% of hospitals, will receive a penalty. That's going to create a race to the bottom, and that's a concern that I have because that's going to affect everybody's health care. Whether you're now retired or disabled, or if you're about to retire. My parents are from the baby boomer generation, and my grandparents' generation before that. And we have to make sure that our health care remains high quality, remains efficient, and is about the people, not about the numbers, because people aren't numbers.
My name is Doug Coffin. I'm a candidate for the Montana legislature in House District 93. And I'm a professor at the university. I teach in the School of Pharmacy and I do cardiovascular and stem cell research. And I have some personal experiences, both as an individual and losing my ambulatory capacity through injuries, car accident, or knee surgery from athletics and those kind of things. And fortunately for me, those are temporary. I've also had some experience as a healthcare provider, working for an ambulance company in New York City, dealing with people who've had accidents, who've lost their ambulatory capacity and had illnesses and injuries. And one thing that we hear in common from a lot of these personal experiences from the candidates, and from everyone probably in the audience, is that at one time or another in our lives, we all encounter these things, either personally or through having to care for someone, a loved one, who's lost who has a disability of some type, be they elderly and lose their ambulatory capacity or otherwise. And so some basic principles come through here. First of all, we have no disposable people. We don't throw people away in a civilized society. Second of all, we measure our value, and you'll hear this quite a bit, based on how we treat people who are less fortunate than ourselves for any reason, be it a disability or otherwise, economically, or in terms of their health or whatever. And so in that sense, I think it behooves all of us to apply the most basic principle, which is the golden rule. How would you feel if you were in that person's place? How would you want to be treated? And I think you'd want to be treated with dignity. And you would want to be treated with the basic necessities to maintain your dignity. And that responsibility does fall back on the role of government. And so there's a corollary with health insurance, where sooner or later everybody gets sick or injured, so we need everybody insured. And we should remember that here. Sooner or later, everyone in their life, either personally or through their family, encounters this, and we have to remember that.